Today, we're covering the new board view that's part of the Just Play front office suite. In the current landscape of college athletics, staying organized with how you manage your roster and your budget is extremely important. Our boards give you the ability to organize your own roster, your targets, and your future roster all in one spot. First, you have the ability to choose which coaches on staff are able to see your boards. For example, if you only want your head coach and your GM to see the board, we can adjust that for you. You will also be able to password protect your boards as an additional security measure. In order to create a new board, it's as easy as accessing our front office suite here on the left side, and then navigating to boards. From here, I can navigate to the blue Actions dropdown on the right side of the screen and click Create New Board. Here, we give our board a name that makes sense. I'm going to build out our roster board for this upcoming season, 2025-26. I can add a description to the board. Next, I simply set my column values. These are preset to be the numbers most commonly used for positions, but I'm going to change these to feature the abbreviations instead. We're going to change our 1 to point guard, 2 to shooting guard, and so on. If I wanted to have more than 5 columns, I simply click the gray Add button above the first column line. If I wanted to add a combo guard column to go in between my point guard and shooting guard columns, for example, I can add that column and simply drag and drop that in the order that I want. Once I'm ready, I click Add and we are immediately dropped in on our newly created board. First, let's get some players added to our board. To add prospects to the board, I'm going to navigate to that blue Actions dropdown again and hit Add Prospects. From here, I can simply type in the prospects that I have in my database to add them to my board. My selection is saved between searches here so that I can quickly add multiple prospects at once without jumping out of the Add Prospects window. When I'm done selecting the players that I want, I click Add in the bottom right corner of the window. The prospects we added from our database automatically goes in our tray here on the right. From here, I can simply drag and drop any of these cards out onto the board where I want them. To move players around, I simply click their card and drag them where I want them to be. On the cards themselves, we have their name, image, and a few fields of information already preset. To the right of their names, we can click the AI button to access their Auto Insights report directly from the board itself. This will automatically generate the 3-page breakdown for the player, including their Auto Insights report, their overview report, as well as their game log. Clicking the Synergy button will take you directly to their Synergy page, so we can access their film right away. Next, I want to add our budget to our board here. First, I need to navigate to the top right corner of the board and click the Settings button. From here, I can adjust the card layout and adjust my card fields. Any fields in their prospect profile can be added as a field for their cards. I can also adjust those columns from here as well, like we covered earlier. This is also where we can add our custom fields. Custom fields are tied to this specific board and will not be added to the prospect's profile. When I click Add, I can then set the color I want the value to be on the card. I set the type of the value and give the field a name that makes sense. Next, let's set our budget. In our metrics section, I click Add and give our metric a name. I'm then going to set the type to budget and then put in our budget for the 25-26 roster. I then select which custom field I want this budget to reflect. Below, I can adjust what metrics I want enabled for our budget here. If I click the Edit button on the right, I can turn these on or off and also adjust the order I want them displayed in. Once I'm happy with my settings for my budget, I can go ahead and click Submit. As you can see, our budget has now been added to the top of the board. I have my over/under, I have my percentage of budget spent, I have the amount remaining to spend, I have my actual spend, as well as the total number for my budget. Now, as I go ahead and put in the NIL values for the players on the board, you will see these numbers automatically update. Also, notice how on the cards themselves, the percentage of our budget we are allocating to that specific player is indicated in the parentheses as well. If I wanted to adjust or edit any of the budget information we set before, I simply click the edit button next to the name of the budget to update that information. After I've made changes to my board, I simply click the green Save button in the top right corner to lock these changes in. I can easily print this board out as well. If there are things I don't want to see on my printout of the board, such as maybe the budget or the NIL values themselves, I can simply toggle those on or off in the Settings tab before we hit the Actions button again and then Print. If you're interested in learning more about boards or other parts of the Just Play front office suite, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks.